Berg right side. Back to the line. Jackson Vaughn shoots. He scores! A harmless shot for the line by Jackson Vaughn. Finds its way into the back of the net. Now it's turned over at the left circle. Wong across. One-timer. Great save. Huet Howe. Absolute robbery on Brandon Lisowski, who just got robbed at the right circle. And oh boy, you talk about tracking the puck. A marvelous save by Howe to keep it 1-1. Howe down behind the Wheat Kings net, wraps it around, and that puck is stopped by Bjarnason. Rebound in front of the net, they jam away, and Slaney scores! Keegan Slaney with his first as a Regina pad. He kept on digging. Good poke check by Berg. And now into the middle of the ice. Howe moves it down the ice in a shorthanded breakaway. Jackson Vaughn all alone. Backhander scores! What a beauty by Jackson Vaughn. Puck held in front. Shantz shoots, scores! Zachary Shantz on a turnover by the Brandon Wheat Kings. What just happened right there?
Welcome to Pat's Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. It's November 12th. It's episode 151. It's Chris here, Kevin there. How are we doing tonight?
Better now that the Pats were able to pull off a W on Sunday.
Yeah, the week was looking a little glim there.
Yeah, it was pretty bleak.
Yeah, but end the week on a high with a win. So that's always nice to see.
Yeah, a nice bounce back effort.
Yeah. All right. We got a little bit of news. I think we should start off the top with Alexander Suzdalev. Unfortunately, not coming back to the Pats.
Not coming back to the Western Hockey League period, but it would have been really a really big boost for the Pats.
Yeah, we were expecting some news. Yeah, some news last week, but it didn't happen. Didn't drop till I think it was Tuesday this week. And yeah, he got sent back to Sweden, Tier 2 Pro League. So it's kind of a interesting move. I don't know. I mean, they want him playing pro, so they sent him back there.
Well, he sat out long enough. I guess they figured, why not send him back home, play over there? I don't know. Play against men in the second league, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Obviously, that they have their thoughts and they want what they think is best for him, and I mean, we can't disagree with that.
Oh yeah, we don't run the team. We don't have the salary. We don't have the expenses.
Yeah. So
it's all on them.
Obviously, he couldn't crack the Hershey Bears roster, which is, like we talked about, wasn't too unsurprising. The team's pretty solid, and they had extra forwards and extra players.
A bunch of extra players. So I guess he just kind of was a numbers guy.
Yeah.
And not playing for 11 games really, like the speculation was running rampant, and we speculated that he was going to come back. We were hoping he'd come back.
I mean,
we were hoping he'd come back, score some goals, maybe be a big trade chip. But
help out that power play.
Sarah.
Yeah, like obviously every game he sat out in Hershey was closer to him leaving Hershey, we figured, and it did end up happening, just not in our favor. So
no.
Taylor Shire had a good article. He interviewed Alan Miller about it, and obviously he said he was disappointed and that they didn't come back here. And he said they worked. We worked really hard to have him back here. He said, and so, and then not to move on here, but he said, we do have options to consider adding a second import if the right player becomes available. So, I mean, sounds like they want Stian Solberg, the Soul Show, maybe here next year. So, so that's next year. So, maybe there's a hole that they can fill this year.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on a price. I don't know.
Yeah, and who's available and whatnot, right? So, I'm pretty sure they're not, they're not just going to add an import for the sake of adding an import. Like 2 years ago, right? It was only Stan 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But
or like when they added Getchy for whatever it was, 20 some games.
Was it even 20 games? I forgot about him, actually. Yeah.
15 to 20 games. I can't remember the exact number offhand. But if the Pats were able to find a free import, kind of like what Lethbridge did with their Leo or Leon or whatever his name is, Briard or however you pronounce it, that would be a pretty good pickup. But I guess
Yeah,
have to wait and see.
Getchy was free too, but that one just didn't work out, right?
Well, he didn't play a ton either, so
No.
He kind of sat on the bench quite a bit.
Yeah, but so that's the downer news of the week. Unfortunately, it would have been really nice to see him back here. I think maybe Hershey thought that he proved what he can do here. He doesn't have to come back here and go play pro with some men, and maybe improve his game, right?
Yeah. Well, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, but
it's time to move on.
Yeah, but it's going to be remembered as one of the best import seasons ever as a Pat, right?
Oh, well, for sure, by miles.
Yeah, him and Stan. We talked about that last year. Those are two of the two best seasons ever, right?
Yeah, basically the top import group the Pats have ever had. So
yeah, for sure, and individually at the top as well.
Right near the top.
Yeah. So yeah, that started the week off on a down note, but so then we roll into Wednesday, Saskatoon back here. So we've seen, some tough games against Saskatoon in Saskatoon, some decent games here for the Pats, and this one was another tight one. It seems like the tight ones are here in Regina, and it was another tight one. Wasn't the most exciting game. I know
it definitely wasn't.
I wasn't feeling the greatest. I was kind of like, all of me wasn't there. But
but in the whole atmosphere of the game just kind of coincided with you not feeling well. It wasn't a very good game. It just, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It just didn't have the oomph that the Brandon games had. But hey.
Yeah, definitely. It is what it is. The Pats, it was kind of the story of the week almost, was the penalty trouble they got into, but they're able to escape it. So only giving up one power play goal.
Yeah, massively outshot, and they were able to get the Vaughn forward Jackson got the tying goal late and took it to a shootout. It was good.
Yeah, it was just a shot on net. It was just a kind of a floater, and just found a way in, and it gave the Pats some life. It was late. What was it? 2 minutes into the third. So,
but it was in the third period. The Pats had pretty much no real life until that, and
no, they had all of 13 shots in the first two periods combined, right? So
yeah,
it wasn't the prettiest game, obviously, and whatever. You're playing Saskatoon. They're one of the top teams in the league. They're ranked in the CHL top 10. Not that means anything, but able to get a point off them, right? But they played Saskatoon.
They are good. They're very
and
good.
Not as bad as Regina played. I don't want to say they played bad. It just wasn't the most exciting game, right? But it
was boring.
Yeah, right. So, but they were able to get a point off them, right? You take a point off one of the top 4 teams in this league. Nothing wrong.
All points matter. So
yep.
Every step of the way, they need to get the points, and that's a point to get.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You've beat them twice now. You've lost them twice, and you've lost one in overtime. Right. So you've got 5 points out of 5 games off them.
It's a really good for the team that should be almost running away with the division, in my opinion.
Yeah,
they got the goaltending. They got some good defense. They got a lot of depth up front.
Yeah, there's no reason why they haven't taken that step yet. But it's getting close, right? We talked about that today at the rank. There's a couple teams starting to get away from the pack. But Saskatoon should be up there, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll touch on that later. I guess not much really there to talk about. Honestly, really the story would be Huet. He's really come in, he came into that Sunday game and really held it down after Pine gave up 4 goals. He did give up 2, but we talked about it. It was a solid, 40 plus minutes, 45 minutes that he played on Sunday, and then he gets Saskatoon again on Wednesday here, and he played well. There was some big saves, there's some bad turnovers, that he shut it down and kept it a 1-goal game and was able to get it to overtime and then the shootout ultimately.
Yeah. What was missing in that game was expected retribution from the previous Blades game with the power play at the end.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I mean,
there wasn't much about that. It was a much ado about nothing.
Yeah. I mean, it was a 1-goal game. It was a tight game, so there wasn't didn't want to be doing anything too stupid, right?
Especially when they already had 6 power plays against.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah, that's kind of it's not the best look, but I mean, you don't want to be doing something dumb and costing your team. I mean, that's a coach's decision. That wasn't an on ice kind of play, right?
Assistant coach's decision because Sonny was away with
right. Sonny's away. Yeah.
Team Canada there.
That's another thing we should talk about. We didn't have written down.
Yeah,
we'll get to that if we remember later.
I'm sure we will.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we got a couple interviews. Huet, lots of media at this game on Wednesday. Looks like Dante made
a whole bunch of media.
Yeah, most of them came out. Dante maybe had to give him a call and remind him that, hey, there's some Pats hockey going on. And
yeah, it's like, hey, there's a Pats game. Come watch once in a while, maybe.
They came out, and I mean, it wasn't the most exciting game. They seem to be talking the CFL a lot, but it is
most of the game.
Yeah. So they showed up Wednesday. So we got a little bit from Brad and Ewan. There's a French reporter was there on Wednesday because Ewan's dad, Cristobal, was in town, so they did an interview. I think was it in the second intermission of that game?
Yeah, he was in the second period.
So yeah, I think those interviews are on the website. If not now, they'll be up soon. They usually put up those intermission interviews, so you can go ahead and listen to that. I haven't heard it yet, so I'll have to check that out. So CBC was there, and then Global, and all the usual kind of people that do come out once in a while were there. So it's kind of nice to actually have some other questions other than just me. But, yeah, so we'll listen to those now.
I think that we competed really hard. I think we had a heck of a goalie performance, but we took way too many penalties. And the penalties that we were taking, they're not preventing goals. They're 200 feet away from the net. We're trying to stick up for each other. You know, the heart's in the right place, but situationally, they're just undisciplined penalties that are killing momentum in our team, or in our offense and in our team.
Is that just the rivalry game? Maybe emotions got the better of them, or what can you attribute those kind of penalties to?
Yeah, I think it's part of the rivalry. I think it's hockey. I think it's boys just acting like boys, and that's what we're trying to make them more mature, and so they can handle their emotions a little better there. The penalties that we took, you know, they had the right idea in mind, I guess, but hockey's changed. It's not the way it used to be. So sometimes people can take hits. You got to walk away from that stuff, and when we're playing 5-on-5, we play with anyone in the league, I think, and then when we take these penalties, we're just killing momentum, and you know, then we give it up to special teams, and you know, we play into their hand.
How nice is it to get this kind of performance from you and Huet?
Yeah, Huey, if you really look back at his last 6 games, you look at his numbers, he's pretty much been over 900 the last 6 out of 7 games, I believe, if the math is right. But yeah, he's kind of starting to, we talked about that, getting integrated into North American style, into the smaller rink. We could always see it in practice. You know, his first couple of games, a lot of them were just goals that we see him make stops all the time. And the last couple of weeks here, you really kind of see him coming into his own and really starting to, you know, try to take that job.
CHL continuously ranked the Blades in the top 10. So what's it say about your team when you see really think you can beat the Saskatoon team?
Well, I think that we're on the right track. I think that we got something in place here with a style and a culture which we want to push here, and it's a hard style, and it's a hard style to play to keep up for 68 games. But we're pushing it. We need healthy bodies. We need that competitiveness which we had in our group at the start of the year. Guys fighting for ice times, and if you weren't playing up to snuff, you were sitting out because we had that kind of depth. Right now, we don't have that kind of depth, but we're past those learning lessons. We don't need to be sitting anybody out. The standard's been set. They know what's acceptable and what's not, and we just need more of a consistent effort and just all hands on deck.
Might have a question regarding the goaltender Evan Huet. Since the beginning of the season, how are you satisfied by the performance and stuff?
Yeah, he's been excellent, guys. He's been getting better all the time. You can really see it in practice. I know the first 2 or 3 games he played, you know, wasn't what he was happy with, but a lot of times it just was he's coming to a smaller rink, so those pucks are on top of you. Those shooters, you know, they're a lot closer than he's used to. So Yeah, we're very happy with. He's an excellent teammate. He fits in so well, and a lot of times that's harder for those guys coming across the pond over here. Just fitting in with the culture and making friends and stuff like that. I think we do a pretty good job in our dressing room of making everyone acceptable. But in the end, it's tough. But he's doing a great job.
And tonight he did a pretty much good performance in general. You have had the chance to see good saves and stuff.
Yeah, he was real good. He kept us in the game. He kept us relevant, and he was our best penalty killer tonight. And we needed him to be our best penalty killer because, like I said, we took too many penalties. And 5-on-5, I thought we defended well.
You said he's been adjusting to the smaller rink. You can see his style has also changed. Is that kind of been a bit of a transition for him as well?
Yeah, no, he's been working lots with Danny Wappel, our goaltending coach, and just making those little adjustments. But in the end, he's not the biggest guy, so he's going to have to be active. Sometimes he's like jumping on his tippy toes to stop the puck. But yeah, he's a workhorse out there, guys. When the puck hits him, he's always fighting for that second and third rebound. He doesn't give up. So yeah, we're very happy with performance and very happy with his game and how it's come along.
Well, even just your thoughts on the game. Obviously, not the result you guys wanted, but overall.
I think we should be satisfied with it. It's 1 point. Saskatoon's a great team, and even though we could have gotten a win, 1 point's not bad. We battled hard, and that's what we'll take from the game.
As a goaltender, early in the game, do you kind of realize you might be in a zone, or because you made some great saves out there tonight?
Personally, I kind of take it one shot at a time. That's how I kind of get through it. Just don't think, just make saves, and yeah, that's pretty much one save at a time.
Just your thoughts on the Saskatoon-Regina rivalry. Obviously, you guys beat them earlier in the year, but they've won the last couple here.
Yeah, we know it's always a tough game. They're a really good team. They play fast. They like to play on the rush, and I think we've did a great job so far against them, and we can be proud of us.
Coach talked about you adjusting to the North American style rink and everything. Do you feel like there has been some adjustments and you've learned a little bit to play in this kind of rink?
Oh yeah, definitely. When I first got here, a couple struggles, but I think I kind of found my footing. And thanks to the goalie coach and even Kelton Pine, he's helped me. Just watching him play is, it's always a great help. So that's good.
Your style visually has changed. I can tell just watching you. How big of an adjustment has it been?
I think it's details to this point. It's not like the width of my butterfly, width of my legs in general. Trying to stay on my feet as long as possible. I think it's really important here in North America, and yeah, it's just details, and I'm happy that you think I changed.
Has it been tough switching back and forth in starts with Pine?
No, I think it fit the team real well, and I think we were both happy with it.
Your coach said that tonight you were the best player on the Pats power, or penalty kill rather. So what does it feel like when you hear that?
Oh, it feels good. I think as a goalie, you want to have the, confidence that your coaches and the team feels confident having you in the net, and no, it feels good.
All right. So yeah, then you got Saskatoon back to back, and then you got a quick turnaround back to back with Brandon here, a Saturday Sunday matinees.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon at 3.
Just the weirdest time for a game.
I know, right? Like, of course, the weather's super nice out. Wouldn't mind getting outside, doing some stuff around the house, but sitting inside watching the game. This game was it was a lot more exciting. Like
it was exciting in a good way for a few minutes, and then bad way for a few minutes.
I know, right? Brandon gets the first goal right off the hop. But Pats respond. Like they had 2 goals in that first period. They got one late. What was it? Yeah, a minute and a half to go in the period. Perkeberg scores a nice one. So yeah, you're out of the first period, a 2-1 lead, and you're thinking like, oh, all right, here we go. It's kind of what happened against Brandon last time they were in town. The Pats got that early lead and kind of just ran with it, right? But
yeah,
you got to credit Brandon. They battled back, and I mean, the penalties, like we said, the
penalty kill didn't really help the Pats that game.
Well, I don't know if it's the penalty kill. It was 6 penalties. You know, you can't. I think there was, I don't know how many games in a row that they'd only given up 1 power play goal for a while there, and then
but taking that many penalties is bound to.
I know
them,
it's gonna come back.
It bit them on Saturday.
Yeah, it bit them in Saskatoon that one game.
Yeah,
and it bit them in Brandon here. Like you give up 6 penalties again, or power play opportunities again, and you give up 3 power play goals, and when you're constantly on the penalty kill, it's tough. I mean, they were able to get 1 shorthanded goal, but
to take a 3-1 lead early in the second, which was nice to see, and I had the hopes got really high.
Well, I think the TSN turning point was the Vallis breakaway right after the Vaughn goal. It would have made it 4-1, and then he beats the goalie Bjarnason. He was starting that night, and he beats him, but he hits the post and it slides right across the line and out the other side.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah, and then they turn around and come back and score to make it 3-2. Like it went from 4-1 to 3-2, and then it kind
of. Then Chance got a goal like pretty much right away after that.
I know. So it was good. You're like, okay,
and it was like, okay, oh yeah,
4-2, yeah. And then they get a couple in the second half of the second period, and then they get 2 power play goals in the third, and then it's
downhill from there.
Yeah, you know, the Pats make a last gasp effort. They get a power play goal. They hadn't scored many power play goals lately. Howe gets one with just over a minute to go, but it just wasn't enough, and they still needed another one to tie it up, but they gave up an empty netter. Yeah,
disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, talked to Brad about it after tonight's game, Sunday's game, and he's like, we didn't mind how they played. It was the penalties, right? Obviously, and that just puts you in a hole, right? It's the same guys that kill penalties, so you're gassing your top players.
Yeah, your specific 6 or whatever, your 6 forwards and 40
I mean,
or whatever.
You know, you're not going to score many shorthanded goals in a game, so that, you know, it's taking away your opportunities with their energy there. I mean, they had 1 and they almost had 2. I think Vallis's would have been shorthanded.
Yeah, I think not. I can't remember for sure exactly what time it was, but it was.
I think it was because
been
it was the
right
same play, right?
Yeah,
because they turned around and scored right after. I don't think there was a whistle there or anything, but so you're using up your top players on the penalty kill. I mean, every team plays that way, but when you're constantly killing penalties, it's just zapping their energy, right? With not being able to generate scoring chances. And I mean, they gave up 52 shots. I don't think the team was too. They weren't.
Doesn't sound like they're not too worried about the amount of shots. Because I guess it was like the prime scoring chances or whatever they're talking about
were few. Like they didn't give up many.
You totally froze there.
Oh, okay. You're good. You're still good. Yeah, like you said, it's they're more worried about the prime scoring chances than the actual number of shots. And
and it's according to the analytics, whatever, it sounded like the Pats almost outchanced them, but the expected saves, whatever they call it, weren't there specifically by the Pats goaltending or the Pats defense / goaltending.
Yeah, Pines had a couple rough outings, right? I mean, power play goals are power play goals. You do need your goalie to bail you out on the power play, and unfortunately, he just. I'm not saying it's on him, but he just hasn't been able to make that extra save, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like there's a lack of, I don't know.
I mean, the penalty kill has been
missing.
Yeah, I mean, the penalty kill has been so good lately. I mean, it is what it is. It's one game. I mean, 2 with that Saskatoon one where they gave up 3 as well.
The penalty kill lately hasn't been very good. It's like,
yeah, it's down now, right?
It's like 70% or something like that in November. So it's kind of taking a nosedive. But hey, they're bound to bounce back, hopefully.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, it's tough. You had such a good start, right? And then just to let that game get away from you was unfortunate.
Yeah, it seemed like it got the snowball kind of grew into
an avalanche.
An avalanche.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. One unfortunate penalty there that the Pats took was Corbin Vaughn taking a slew-footing double minor early in the second period. It was 4 minutes, but what ended up happening was that's his second of the season, so that's an automatic 2-game suspension.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I don't remember if I even seen that play. Like it was 29 seconds in.
I saw the play, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
The way it's all live, you can't tell. It's
it's tough.
The angle is just not the greatest, but
yeah. So he had to sit out here Sunday, and then he'll miss Wednesday versus Edmonton. But, yeah. So, I mean, it's just a quick turnaround. Another afternoon game on Sunday, and Brandon again.
And the Pats down to 5 defensemen.
They end up
12 forwards and 5D. With Vaughn out and Herman unable to play because he was sick or whatever. I'm not exactly sure the details, but he wasn't able to play. So 12 forwards, 5D.
I mean, it didn't start great. Again, Pats were down. They're down 2 middle of the game, and you're thinking, ooh,
another
is this team going to come to life? And then they got a power play late the second period. There, I was like, oh, if they're going to score, they need to score one here. And I think that power play actually looked pretty decent. And then they actually scored one. Howe gets one again. I mean, he's kind of been hot.
It's the tale of 2 power plays. It's either really good or really bad.
Yeah, and you keep mentioning it is the entry. Like if they don't win the face-off and they come out of the zone, like they've really struggled with zone entry.
Yeah, they can't get it. They can't get it through. I don't know what the deal is exactly. They don't really have a true what you call a quarterback on the power play. Like Berg's putting up points, but he's never really been a power play quarterback like a Svozil or anybody like that.
Yeah, we've talked about that before, and it's just not something's just not right there, right? They've just been struggling a bit to really generate quality chances on the power play. But I mean,
and the back passes they do, just the random passes to nowhere.
That's happening all the time. 5-on-5 too.
Half the team does it. It's just it's bizarre. They don't look. They just pass. It's like I don't want the puck. Here's the puck. I don't want it.
Well, that was the first goal tonight, right? A giveaway.
Yeah.
I mean, it was assisted by Roger McQueen, but
I don't know how, but whatever.
Roger McQueen didn't put it on Rosimer's stick, so
I guess.
Well, no, he didn't, right? So somebody else, a Pats player did, but it is what it is.
But yeah, the turnovers are really biting the Pats like they have been for years. But it's really noticeable when you don't score a ton of goals.
Yeah.
So. But hey,
yeah, and then Valls gets another one or gets one. We thought it was Howe. They called it Howe early in the third there to even it up at 2-2.
I watched the replay. It doesn't look like it went off Howe. It looked like it went off the defenseman.
No, that's why they changed it, right? So
yeah,
but hey,
it can still change back.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Val's putting it on net. That's the key, right? Instead of trying to, I guess that was kind of a pass-ish, but. There's a lot of times we've seen the 2-on-1 chances where they trying to get a pass across and it's just not working, and they should put it on net, right? It seems
it on net.
They
put it on net. You get rebounds.
Yeah,
you never know.
Rebounds. You can score. If you pass it across, you're not guaranteed anything, right?
Exactly. Put it on net. You never know. Rebounds.
Yeah.
Who knows? Weird bounces.
Yeah. They don't have. I'm not saying they don't have the skill to score on a chance like that. They do, but. They need to work hard for some of these opportunities, and
they have to work really hard.
Yeah, and to just try to make a pass where you're not guaranteed anything. It's just like I mean that's just us sitting in the stands, right? Just looking overhead, like. But I mean even tonight, like Spencer had a chance right in the slot, and I don't know how you pass that up, right?
Yeah,
like he's right in the hash marks, and he tries to make a pass. I don't know why you're not shooting, but
yeah, he needs to shoot more.
Yeah, right. That's the guy that maybe gripping his stick. He hasn't scored in a while, so maybe he's just
He's not shooting at all hardly. I don't think did he have any shots at all tonight?
He had one shot on net tonight.
Yeah.
So I mean, and you pass that chance up, like that's a guy that's squeezing the stick a little bit. Maybe he's just a little lack of confidence at the moment, right?
Yeah.
So
get shots, you never know. Like I said, you get bad bounce, weird bounce, deflection. Who knows, right?
Yeah. So, but hey, the power play gets another one in the third, and hey, you get 2 power play goals. You only took 3 penalties tonight.
Woohoo!
Right? You outshot them. You out power played them. I mean, it was a pretty solid game.
Yes.
They stayed away from the chippiness that's kind of been building with Brandon here these last couple games.
Games. There was a couple of engagements, but nothing over the top, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Didn't play into the antics of some certain Brandon players.
Yeah.
Players.
So yeah, I mean, all in all, and Huet, another solid game tonight.
He was really good.
Yeah, he's really coming along. Nice to see. Like I mean, it by the way they're rolling with it, is Pine going to get Wednesday? But I mean, you play Wednesday, Friday this week. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Huet in both.
Yeah. But the way it's been going, I wouldn't doubt that Pine plays
Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Pine plays the next one. Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm guessing Pine probably plays Wednesday unless something changes.
Yeah, but yeah, you can really see, and you can see his style is a little like I think we've talked about before. It's just a little more sound, and he's kind of getting into a groove.
It's sound, but very unorthodox, and I like it. I like the different style, not the normal generic butterfly.
I mean,
because he's not a huge goalie.
No,
he's not like a 6'4", 6'5" goalie or whatever. They list him as 6 feet tall or whatever. I don't know if he's even that tall, honestly. But
I don't know.
He's
very much taller than I am, and I'm not close to 6 feet. So
he's very unorthodox, and I like the fact that he battles. He never doesn't battle for the puck.
Yeah,
unless he's completely gone. But he's really battling, and I like it. I like the fight back, the battle of him.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about some stats after the interviews here. We'll listen to them first, and then we'll talk about some player and team stats up next.
So, Brad, how do you like the rebound after yesterday's loss?
Yeah, I like the way we played yesterday. We played really hard. I know the shots weren't in our favor, but I think the guy was double-clicking it all night. First 35 minutes of that game, we were all over him. It just was kind of a discipline thing, again, that took us out of the game. But I didn't mind the way we played last night. I liked that we were real resilient. We were without 2 of our top 6 forwards, and obviously Corbin Vaughn got suspended today, so it put a lot of stress on our team today. But all year long, we've been a real resilient group. We've always been next man up. We don't make any excuses for people not being in the lineup, and that just goes to show the character of our group again.
Yeah, another comeback win today, down 2 goals. What did you like there?
Yeah, it's something we talk about all the time. We talk about our family love for each other and our belief in one another, and we believe that if we stick to it, we can play with any team in this league, and we don't give up on each other. We don't allow each other to give up on anyone in that dressing room, and once again, it just goes to show what our group is all about.
Al, a couple tonight, maybe a third one there, but you kind of had a little bit of a stretch there without a goal, got one late yesterday. You think he just needed one there just to kind of get rolling again?
I think he needed to stop using that white stick he was using there for a bit. Once he got rid of that stick, he got back on the scoreboard here. So, just look at the way he guy scores the goals. Even that second one, that's what makes him a first-round pick. That's what makes him get paid to play hockey one day. The way he goes in net, he can score in any kind of fashion, and he's our leader. I think he led our team in block shots, led our team in hits, and led our team in points. Parker Berg's right up there with him too. We had a lot of guys step up. Huey's really good in the net, and a bunch of guys that we don't even talk about that got in the score sheet. It was a real team effort today, and just we need everybody.
Yeah, Huey, you mentioned him. He almost taken another step here this last week or so.
Yeah, I think it's been longer than that. He's really starting to fight for that number 1 job here, and he's been getting better and better every game here in the last 5-6 for sure.
You got the big road trip coming up here soon. What do you kind of expect from there? You haven't been on the road with this team yet.
Yeah, for us, it's just us. We'll evaluate We evaluate us by our process, and as long as our process is good and we're playing hard, we're playing to our team identity. That's with us. We look at the games we lost. We think we lost our identity. There hasn't been very many games we've lost this year where we've been beat when we've been playing our identity. So for us, it's to push the boys to the level which I know they can play at, and when we're playing at that level, we're a tough out.
Yeah, it seems to be a little better record at home, obviously. Is there a little bit of a difference there for some reason?
I don't know, maybe some matchups. I think that we got 12 forwards that can play, and when we can roll all 4 lines and throw a mismatch in here or there, and just keep that death by 1,000 cuts, relentless forecheck going, I think it really helps us at home for sure.
What was the difference tonight, coming back from the lead rather than yesterday losing that lead to Brandon?
Yeah, I thought we capitalized on our chances today. I think last game we had a lot of chances we didn't capitalize on, and I think our goaltending today, he stood in his head, so I think that helped us so much.
Yeah, have you seen a difference in Huet's play maybe the last couple of weeks here?
Yeah, for sure. I think his last 2 games have been unreal. I mean, it's the reason we won with him, and I think he's brought his game to another level, and I think it's awesome to see.
Does it seem like he's getting more comfortable here over in Canada?
Yeah, for sure. I think his first couple games, getting used to the pace and the smaller rink and all those little things, but I think he's done a fabulous job and he's been so good for us.
What's the difference in your game here? You got a couple goals the last couple games. Just the stick? Brad mentioned that. Maybe the white stick wasn't working?
I don't know about that, but yeah, I think just our team and my line mates, I think they've been awesome. I think just moving my feet and playing hard, I think good karma and all those little things.
Also, it seems the power play's kind of coming along here a little bit. Kind of was struggling there for a bit. Maybe what's the difference there?
Yeah, I think just moving pucks quick. I think when we're not scoring on it, we're kind of sloppy and not moving our feet and all those little things. But I think when we work as a unit and come up together and pass the puck quick and all those little things and get shots to the net, I think we're really good.
Seeing you guys were able to limit the penalties tonight to maybe a tough ask against a Brandon team that seems a little chippy. What did you say about your game there?
Yeah, I think last game that's one of the reasons why we lost that game. I think penalties. Past couple of games have been an issue for us. So I think kind of talked to that before the game and all that stuff. So I think that was huge for our game.
You got a big road trip coming up, first one of the season. Kind of what are you looking for there? Teams kind of maybe struggling a little bit on the road, been doing pretty well at home.
Yeah, I think we gotta go into it and play like we have the last 2 games. I think it doesn't matter if we're home or away. We gotta play the style we play.
All right. Yeah. So getting back to Huet, his stats are kind of creeping up the league standings, aren't they, Kevin?
Yeah. After today's game, he's now 10th in goals against average. That's .285. It's pretty good.
That's
After the rough start and everybody was questioning if he's going to be able to play in this league, and he seems to be getting better every game.
Yeah.
He's had a couple meh performances lately, like in the last few games, but he's been way above board most of the time now. So I have full confidence in him as a goalie. So
yeah, you give up 6 in that very first game, and we're all thinking, ooh. But I mean, his goals against is down under 3 now, right? It's just keeps coming down.
Yeah,
right?
And the save percentage keeps going up. So
and the save percentage going up. What's it at now?
912.
Yeah, 912. So I mean, which
is tied for like 10th in the league ish.
Yeah, if you're over 900 and under 3, you can't complain about that.
Yeah, especially this year with the way the goaltending is. You got some really good averages and then a whole bunch of not so great averages. So yeah, his numbers are really good. Can't complain about his numbers.
Yeah, and then rolling into some team stats that maybe surprising, a little bit surprising when you showed them to me, like compared to last year, right?
Yeah, the Pats this year have actually a better record than the Pats last year. Last year at this time, the Pats were what did I say? I'm gonna find it here. They were 9-10-1-1. This year they're 10-9-1-1. And last year they had a certain number 98, a certain number 91, a certain number 11 on defense, a certain number 29 on defense. Yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't think too many people actually believed that this year's Pats would have 10 wins by now.
No,
I know I wasn't expecting it, and I've got the Pats.
You were hoping for
glasses.
You were hoping for 30 wins, right?
I was reaching.
Yeah,
I was optimistic, reaching for 30 wins. I think they could get the 30 wins with what they've got right now.
We're right at the third mark. We're right at 21 games, so that's the third mark of the season.
Pretty much the third, and they're on pace for 30 as long as they can keep battling, keep playing as a family, as Brad calls it, the family,
love,
the family love.
So it is surprising, and I mean, even the goals for and goals against are very similar to last year.
Yeah, last year at this time the Pats had 76 for and 81 against. And this year they're at 70 and 74. So they've only scored 6 less goals. And that's without 98, 91, and 11.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, they scored less, but they've also given up less as well.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, I mean, it is kind of shocking almost to see those stats actually on paper and be like, oh, wow, this team is as good as the team last year.
Yeah, or better, like as a team.
Better. Yeah,
because like the Pats last year, you know, they battled to be like 500-ish pretty much the whole year. They got a few games up, and then they get down. So,
yeah. I mean,
if the Pats keep on battling and playing like the way they are, like you never know.
This road trip coming up will be interesting to see. They've done well against the Alberta teams, but the Pats have like one of the best, if not the best record at home right now.
One of the,
but you're going to those Alberta teams on the road where the road hasn't been friendly to the Pats. I think, what do they got? Like a couple wins on the road?
Yeah, they're 2-6.
Yeah, right.
But maybe a trip together will get them kind of back to where they are.
And I mean, I think they're 4-1 against the Central Division. So
yeah, and getting Temple back will help. Will help maybe with the speed up front. It might help them a little bit. It's hard to say.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Well, let's talk about Temple winning gold with Canada White at the under-17s.
Congratulations to him and the Canada White. After finishing, weren't they like last in the round?
They were last. Robin? They didn't win. They did not win one game in the round robin.
They ended up winning
the whole thing.
Gold. That's funny.
That was interesting. So there was Stephen Ellis. He tweets a lot about junior hockey, the World Juniors and stuff. He seems to be at all these tournaments, and he was he mentioned that Cole Temple was one of his kind of a standout players. He listed about 10, 12 guys. And so I kind of asked him what he thought of Temple's play, because these games really weren't on any TV until the final there, and you had to pay to watch these games, which was kind of confusing to stream them online. So, I mean, but it is what it is. So, but he was there. He said about Cole Temple's game was a strong game at both ends of the ice, hustled, made some excellent passes, got in front of the net, just good, hard-working play. And I think we've seen that from him. We've seen him go into the corners, make some plays in those tough areas, go to the net. Like he's a skill guy, but he's not afraid to go to those dirty areas and make some plays.
Maybe that'll build up some confidence for him when he comes back, because he seemed to be a little bit snake bitten the last little bit when he was here. So maybe that'll give him some confidence to get back into it. I'm sure he'll get a top 6 forward role back here because the dude is good.
Yeah, that's 16. I mean, he's like we said, some of these older guys are struggling a bit, and maybe if Cole has some confidence, and maybe he can carry that on into the team here. I mean, I think, what did he score? 2 goals, 4 assists? I think something like that.
4 goals, 2 assists.
Okay, there you go. 4 goals, 2 assists. I had it backwards, but that's a pretty solid tournament for him.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
All right, what else you got?
I was going to touch on, Drew Sim getting back into practice and stuff. I can't remember what his standing is right now. He's week to week still.
Week to week, yeah.
But we were discussing tonight that you and Huet will most likely get an invite to the World Juniors.
Yeah.
So that means he'll be gone December sometime to January 10th-ish.
Yep.
So what do the Pats do?
Like, is Sim's gonna be ready that quick? Like
Sim's practicing. He's week to week. Yeah,
we've heard that he's looking good. He's maybe less than week to week, right? We talked about that last episode. right?
Yeah, so
maybe he's back in time for when Huet.
Yeah, because if Huet goes and he ends up missing 7 or 8 games, and if they continue on the every second start, that means he missed like 4-ish starts, maybe 5 starts. What do the Pats do if they don't bring Sim back?
Well, I guess you call up your other goalie, Cruz Chase. Like,
do they play Pine 8 games in a row or 10 games in a row, whatever?
I don't think you can play him that much.
Exactly. So
if Sim's not ready, you gotta have
well,
you gotta call somebody up to back up, obviously.
Of course.
But
the only goalie that's signed is Chase.
Yeah, and he's 16. Is he?
He's
16.
16, because he was called up last year for a game. I think he's 16. I can't even remember now.
He is 16.
But now, thinking of that, if Sim does come back sooner than later, that leaves the Pats with another conundrum about a defenseman.
Yeah, so you only got 10 days. If Sim comes back and plays, you've got 10 days to make a decision. So are you keeping Sim, and then you got to move one of these guys? But then what do you do when Huet's back, and then you got 3 goalies?
And then what do you do when Bridgman gets healthy? Then you'll have 8 defensemen, 320 on defense if they do move Sim. Or if they keep Sim, that means they got to move a 20 defenseman. So decisions. And if Miller is actually looking for another 20 or an import, are they looking maybe at an import defenseman if there's one around? Like, who knows, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
It's going to be interesting next few weeks.
Yeah, because I think obviously Huet is gone for sure for World Juniors, I think.
Yeah, I would assume so.
And where is it this year?
I am not sure.
Yeah, so especially if it's over here, right? I don't know where it is, if it's here or not, but you got a goalie over here playing on the small ice already.
And he's proven that he's actually a pretty good goalie.
Yeah. No, he's looked good, like we said. So, all right.
Could be an interesting. I think a lot's going to happen in the next few days next few weeks because they're going to go on their trip, and maybe by that point in time, Sim is healthy enough that they can figure out what to do there. Maybe getting them away might build some more
team bonding or whatever you want.
Team bonding.
Call it.
It doesn't sound like they really need much more team bonding because of the team love thing or whatever. But hey,
and Miller said he wanted to wait at least 10 games to see what he's got, right? So you're 21 games into the season, but he does have decisions coming up, right? So he doesn't want to jump the gun and make a decision before he has to, right?
Definitely some decisions, because if Sim comes back and is healthy and they want to keep him around, one of the defensemen has to go.
Yeah.
Or
and then are you going to keep him long term, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Especially when you got obviously Huet, like he looks like a starter. Like it looks like he can take this number 1 role and kind of push Pine to a backup role. But
yeah. And do you want to keep
Then do you want to keep a 20 goalie when you looks like you've got a good 18, at least one?
Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
What do you
I'm glad I'm not making these decisions, right?
Exactly, me either.
So, but
it sounds easy to do, but then you think of what is like, okay.
When you're on the couch, it seems
a whole bunch of what if.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, if you got nothing else, I think we should get out of here. We got quite a bit of interviews there, so getting a little longer, but I mean, another good week. 3 points. We were hoping for 2 wins, but 3 points.
Yeah, we're hoping for 2. Well, 3 points is good.
Yeah, 3 points is pretty good. Let's quickly touch on next week. So then you got Edmonton and who was it? Edmonton here and Swift Current
there.
There. Yeah, I got the home schedule up, but yeah, and then Swift Current, and then they're off to Medicine Hat later next week. So then Swift Current isn't part of the road trip. But
no, they'd come back.
They'll come back. Yeah,
it's just 5 days between games.
Yeah, so I mean, 2 teams that are Edmonton's definitely below you in the standings, and Swift Current's right around you in the standings.
As long as the Pats don't underestimate Edmonton,
yeah,
they should be okay.
You never know. I mean, Calgary just beat Edmonton 10-2, right?
And Swift Current is Swift Current. So
yeah,
you never know what the Pats are going to do.
Yeah. So I mean,
even when the Pats are really good, Swift Current is Swift Current.
Right? Definitely. So
if that makes sense.
I'd like to see 2 wins here. Would be real
I
nice.
would too. Got to at least split though.
Yeah, at the very minimum, 2 points.
Yeah.
3 would be great. 4 would be ideal, right?
4 would be perfect.
Because you're not playing these top teams. Once you get on the road, then you're going to go see Medicine Hat and Red Deer and stuff like that, right? Teams that are, I mean, Red Deer's still struggling, but they're a better team.
They're a better team than they actually seem to be.
And then you see Edmonton again on the road. But, I mean, 2+ points would be nice for sure. So
100%.
All right. Well, that's
and all the points are necessary. You need the points.
Yeah,
as we found out a couple of years ago.
2 years ago, some points. That lost at the end of the season or end of the games that just
games they had, and they just kind of coughed up.
Yeah, but like we said, this team is finding a way to win, finding a way to get a point, like against Saskatoon this week. Like just finding a way to get 1 point is off a top team is crucial.
Yeah. And even when they're outshot heavily, they still battle.
Yeah, definitely.
They just don't have the overall scoring ability.
Right.
They don't have the high end scoring ability, but hey,
they're finding ways to win.
They're finding ways to score goals. Like it's unbelievable. Yeah. I'm impressed so far.
Well, like we said, they've scored as much as they did last year.
Pretty close, yeah. 3. And they don't have those
minus 3 pro players this year, right?
Yeah.
So, but with that, we should get out of here, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good one.